What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another video. I am the Hobbyist, and today is another real quick video. I'm just going to be showing you how to install the Axial Scx10 beadlock wheels into the Scx10 tires. These are Scale Nito Trail Grappler tires. Very, very nice. They are licensed. And they are slightly bigger than a standard 1.9. I think if you put these in a Pro Line size, they would be a 1.9 XL. So without further ado, let's get straight into the tutorial. So to assemble these beadlocks, it is pretty simple. First, you're going to take the center ring here and kind of stuff it in to the tire and then rotate it, because you want the ring to be in the same orientation as the tire. And then what you're going to do is go around and just make sure that it's centered. You don't want it to be, all weird, because then that can cause the tire to kind of rock when it's on the rim, and that'll look weird, and it also hinder performance. So once that's in, then you're going to take this piece, which in the stock kit will be all chrome, but for the paint job I was going for, I decided to add some flat black into the mix. But it should be all chrome for your kit, and just kind of place it in just like that. And then you're going to turn it over, and in the bag there's going to be a bunch of these little screws, and you're going to need 6 of them to screw in the beadlock. So there we go. And then what I prefer to do to make things a little bit easier is place the screws into the little holes on the rear beadlock ring first, because by doing that it can really make it simpler when you're trying to actually screw in the beadlock. So once you've got all of the screws in, just like that, you're going to place it in and try and get the screws lined up with the holes as best you can. You just kind of pop it in. Now, in order to screw these in, you'll need a 2mm hex tool. However, it will be kind of difficult if you're using an Allen key or even one of these to get the screws started. So I'm going to be using this Genesis electric screwdriver with a 2mm hex bit, and I'm just going to try and get it started. So what I'm going to do is place the bit into one of the screws and then use my thumb and press down the opposite side as I kind of force the bead together. And as you can see, I'm kind of trying to screw it in as I push it in, and once it grabs, then I'm going to go to the other side and do a star pattern. So once you've got all 6 screws started, what you're going to do is flip the tire back over and just kind of tug at the bead, and you're going to see a little lip right in here, and you want to have that exposed. So you don't want it like crimped in like this. You want that lip to be exposed, and that will show you that the beadlock is set incorrectly. So just kind of go around slowly tugging it. You can't do this before you get the screw started, because then once you screw it in, that's just going to mess everything up again. So just keep going around, make sure everything is nice and even. And that's looking about good. So now we do the exact same thing to the other side. Just kind of pull it out. Make sure you don't actually pull the bead out, because if you do that, then you might actually have to unscrew the lock again. So, like I said, same thing all around this side, and then just kind of screw everything in a star pattern. So 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, and just keep doing that until all the screws are tight. Make sure, because these are plastic threads, that you don't over tighten any of the screws. So once you've got all 6 screws nicely tightened, you can kind of just roll it and just make sure that the bead hasn't popped out anywhere on either side. And if it hasn't, then congratulations. Now you just have to do it 4 more times for the other wheels. Thankfully for me, I did that before the video started. So now I've got all 4 wheels. So now it's time to install them on the Scx10. So here's my Axial Scx10 kit. If you hadn't seen that last video, we dropped in the transmission, got the axles hooked up, got everything all connected. Still waiting for electronics, and that'll be in a later video. But anyway, it's time to get the wheels on. So you can either put the wheels on like this and just kind of lift it up, or for the sake of you guys, I'm going to just kind of do it on the side here, which is probably a little bit more difficult, but that's okay. So what you're going to do is take these little aluminum rings. I'm not exactly sure what they are. They're probably just bushings. But you're going to slide that down onto the shaft first. Then you're going to follow that with the 12mm hex. Make sure that the grouping is facing upward and try to line up that screw. Now you're going to take one of these little screw pins, put a little bit of Loctite on it. You should still have some of it from the kit. And you're going to take a 1.5mm hex tool and screw it in. Once you've got the hex securely fastened, you can go ahead and place your wheel on and then put on one of the wheel nuts. Now the kit does come with a T-wrench, which is great, but I'm going to use this tool just because it's a little bit quicker, and also you can kind of bend it, and it is a ratchet. So I'm going to place it on the side just because that'll be easier. And so then you just screw it in until it's tight. Once you've got the wheel securely fastened, now it's time to put on these little silver caps. Now keep in mind that they are different. Two of them have these little triangular patterns, and one of them is just a circle. Now, according to the box art, these are supposed to go on the rear. However, I think, in my opinion, they just look better on the front. So I'm going to put them on the front. And as for securing them, they kind of just pop on. So you kind of just put a little bit of pressure and try to screw it in a little bit. Don't over tighten because it will strip very easily. So just a little bit of tension and spin it. And it went on just like that. So, and that's not going to go anywhere if you screwed it in correctly. So now it's time to put on the other four wheels, and it's the exact same front and rear, just bushing followed by the hex and the pin. Now, some of you may be wondering, these tires are not directional, and they can go on in any way that you want. You know, the tread can be facing either way. It does not matter. So let's get the other four wheels on. Alright guys, as you can see, all four wheels are on the vehicle and now it is rolling. So, hope you guys found this tutorial helpful on how to assemble the beadlocks. It is very simple. Once you do it once, then you really start to get the hang of it. But in the next video of this build series, we will be getting all of the electronics in and connected. I've got the receiver, ESC, I've got the micro servos. It's going to all come together. And then later on in the series, we're going to be building the interior and some of the last components. So, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, and leave a comment in the section below for what videos you'd like to see next. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.